Hey everybody, it's Moonbo here, and welcome back to another episode of Scrap Mechanics Suggested Creations. Just hanging out inside of my airport while I wait for my next flight, which is going to be on the Concorde, actually. Now, if you want to check out this airport, there will be a link at the end of the video for you guys to click on that and have a look at it. It's an amazing build, it's really big, and so in the video I go through it pretty thoroughly, and I figured from now on, if I'm ever making some airplanes, I will just showcase them here because it's an airport. So let's get on through security and check out that Concorde Jet, shall we? Alright, so here it is, the Concorde Jet. I am extremely happy with the way this turned out. There are a few things that I would probably change if I could, but I tried my best with the mechanics of the game. I put a lot of effort into getting some of the details down, actually, so I looked at as many pictures as I could. This is a pretty big plane. This one is extremely fast, actually. In real life, it can go Mach 2. Now, it doesn't fly anymore, but it's a very peculiar build with some very unique features. So first, I'm going to just bring up the connection tool here, and we'll talk a little bit about that. So as you can see right here, inside of these kind of like these engine compartments, I guess you could call them, they have a whole bunch of thrusters. So that is all connected to the W key. So basically I wanted it so that you can control exactly how fast you're going by simply pressing W, and it doesn't take up one of your key bindings either. But it does also have like a taxiing forward thrust that you can use when you're just on the runway here. Aside from that though, I mean, there's a whole bunch of thrusters inside as well. It's pretty well balanced, actually. I know a lot of people always wanted me to make planes that are a little easier to fly with A and D and W and all that stuff, and this one is pretty close to something that's really good like that. So how about we get inside this airplane? I'll show you guys a couple different ways that you can do it. So obviously right here there is a door. Now, I was going to pull it up to the airport. I did do a couple tests before the video, and I'm telling you, the FPS drop is terrible. There's actually like an invisible line over here, and if I cross that line, it's gonna get me. And I know you guys don't really like to see low FPS, and I don't like to either. So the first thing you can do, though, to get inside the plane is you can open up that little door right there, and if you position yourself right about here, you can see if you jump, there's a seat right there. So if you hop up and press the key, you can hop right into that seat, no problem. But I also wanted to have another way to get in, which is actually a little bit easier. So you actually have a little hole right here that you can get directly into the pilot seat, no problem at all. But let's get out of that seat there, and I guess we'll just kind of look around this airplane here a little bit, and we're definitely gonna do some flying. So here is the cockpit, of course. There is a bit of overhead lighting inside. You can actually press that light right there, as well as this one right here, so you can have them both on. I mean, usually you don't necessarily need them on. And right now I don't have particles on because when I do fly this plane, there are quite a few thrusters that will show, and so it looks a little bit better with them off. There are quite a few seats on this plane. I believe the real plane has about 76. This one has a little fewer, just because I ended up removing some of these seats here to make up some emergency exits. Now, one thing I did try was some doors on these exits. So if I press this switch, you'll see it doesn't actually do anything with the door, and that is because it is just a Mach door. Because I did have two doors plus the entrance that we went through up there, and it actually caused massive amounts of lag. And I think what it is because there's so much surface contact going all the way around the door, it drops FPS much faster, which is pretty unfortunate because I did have the doors, but I think everyone will appreciate it a little bit better with some more FPS. And one thing I should mention, actually, all of these switches that you see above these seats, they're all wired into some seats here, and you can actually pretty much have an overhead light in any seat that you choose to sit in, which is actually pretty neat. I figured, why not do it, get every single seat with some light, make it that much more touch of a detail. So this is an interesting little area back here. So right here you can see there is a bathroom. There's no door on it because it's the same situation as the doors over there. So I just kind of left it open, and you can actually get into this toilet seat right here and press the exit key and hop out, no problem. You don't get stuck into the roof there or anything. So this is my favorite part of the airplane, actually, because I can press this switch right here. When you look back this way, you can actually see there is no longer a door there, but some stairs, rather. And so what that is the entire kind of thruster area. So there's a little sneaky spot right here you can squeeze through, and so this is essentially where you would go if you wanted to see your rear thrusters. So back here you can get to your thrusters. It took me a little bit of trouble here. So you can see that that's where all of the rear control is located. Quite a few thrusters back here. It's a little bit of a nest, but they all serve a purpose. And then this is just kind of like the hidden little box here. So I wanted it so that, I mean, you can go out here if you wanted to, but you don't necessarily have to. And you can see it goes all the way up to the front there, which is some landing gear and some more thrusters, really. So we can easily just hop out of here, press this switch again, and it'll go back down. And of course, you can actually press it from right here as well if you wanted to shut that as a door. Now, aside from that, there's not much else to show about this plane, except to get into the first-person seat here and have a look at it. So, I'm really happy with the design. I was looking at quite a few pictures, and this was actually built during a stream. So I enjoy live streaming my builds, and this one was a lot of fun to make with you guys. I got a lot of pointers from you, and a lot of criticisms as well, which I took into account, and I tried to make this as good as I could. So the nose was the hardest part. A lot of people were really kind of iffy about that, and I totally get it. So I tried my best to make it a little more like a cone, more natural. Obviously, there's no circles, so I tried my best with a whole bunch of wedge pieces. So, I mean, I'm pretty happy with it. And the function here, actually, when you press the 1 key, is what lowers it. So that is, I guess, a very unique feature that the Concorde has. So really cool that you can press that button. Here in the first-person view, you can see that I had to create a little bit of a skirt on the inside. So basically, you press the 1 key, the nose goes down, the skirt comes up, it covers it, it makes it a little seamless, so it makes the illusion that it is actually like an airtight seal. Oh god, except for that hole right there, whoops. We'll kind of ignore that hole. Oh, and that one over there. So overall, though, it looks absolutely fantastic. I don't know why I got it out of the seat, though. So really cool. You can press the A and D key. You can see that there are some ailerons there that swing with it as well. Just a little bit of a detail feature, anyway. And there's a whole bunch of controls. So now we are going to go over the controls, and then we are going to fly this thing, and we'll just kind of see what it can do. So the 9 key is actually the reverse key, so you can press that and it'll back you up. So that's what we'll use to taxi out onto the runway while we talk about the keys. The 0 key is that little side door right there. The 8 key is the landing gear, and I'm not going to be pressing the landing gear, actually, simply because it's going to scoot me down onto the ground, and that tends to cause a little bit of lag. The 6 and 7 key are your roll keys, and I believe it is the 4 and 5 that is your pitch, and then you also have the 1 key here, of course, which is the nose, and the 2 key is your general lift, and the 3 key is your taxiing for on the runway. So we're going to back up all the way to the end of this airport here, and we are going to try and have a smooth takeoff. Alright, there we go. We are in position at the end of the runway. I'm going to, of course, open up this display menu here and get the field of view to the max. Obviously, in the in the forward view, you can't really get much of a grasp of the airplane. But if you have it kind of like at a 3/4 view like this is usually, I find, one of the best flying experiences is either 3/4 like this, or if you do like a 3/4 view like this, you get to see a lot more of the area and you don't end up crashing into the wall as much. So for takeoff, of course, it's pretty simple. We are going to press the 3 key like so, and so we are slowly going to pick up a little bit of momentum. And then, like I said earlier, the W key is what's going to give us that massive boost like so. So we can probably get a nice view over there of the speed of the runway coming by us. And then you press the 2 key, and that is simply how you get your lift. So it's pretty cool, actually. If you press the 2 key, you'll actually not really go up very fast until you start giving yourself forward momentum. So it's almost like you need to have some forward thrust to get your lift. So it's kind of annoying because these maps are so small. I actually tweeted to the devs about updating the game a little bit with some bigger map sets, and that way we can actually have a lot more fun with something like this. So unfortunately I have to position myself a little bit on the map so that I don't run into that wall right away. But as you can see, I'm having no issues whatsoever. It is of course going very slow at the moment because I'm not pressing the W key, and that's just because I'm trying to really, I don't want to hit the walls here, it's really annoying. So I'll get into position with this view because I don't want to run into the wall, and I'm going to hold down the W key here, and you guys will just get to see how fast this thing can actually go. So there we go. You can see it has some amazing turning capabilities. Very smooth, very natural. I don't really have to... Oh, and there's the wall. That's exactly what I didn't want to have happen. And of course, it had to happen. Let me reset. We're gonna try this again. Maybe one day we'll have bigger maps. Alright, so it looks like I broke the jaw on this one. As you can see, it is totally unhinged. I'm gonna have to really reset this one and actually put it back on the lift here. This is pretty unfortunate. Oh no, my door is not even opening either. This is actually a pretty good opportunity for me to show you guys how balanced this is. Without any lift whatsoever, if I press my pitch control for the nose going up, you can see I can actually use the controls to move it on the ground itself without any other thrusters. And when I let go of it, you'll see how slowly it actually comes back down to the ground here. So I just wanted to say that is some pretty neat balancing right there. But enough of that. Let's try and get back into the air here real quick and not screw it up. Let's see here. Alright, I think we're on strict follow cam this way. Oh, what is that? Oh, you know what? That's kind of funny, actually. I forgot. I have a target out here that I was using to drop some bombs on, and I obviously missed every single one of them. That was actually from a different video. But yeah, so here we go, flying along. We see the airport off into the distance there. So really, this shouldn't be much of an issue. I marked the corners. If you can't see right there, I marked some of the corners on this map, and that was really so I could avoid the walls. But here we go. This is some pretty decent flight right here, actually. So finally, trying to avoid those walls. I'm getting a little high up into the air here. But it's really easy to fly. It has some great control to it. I'm really happy with the way it turned out, and I hope you guys enjoyed it too, because I always try my best to make good-looking creations that are of pretty good quality. So, it's kind of funny, I mentioned to the devs, actually, when I did tweet them, I was like, I have to fly in circles. So obviously, here you can see, when I hold the W key, that is exactly what I am doing. I am flying in circles, running into walls. But that is just part of the game right now. I really do hope that they expand the maps just a little bit. Maybe like 4 times the size of this, I think. Like 4 of these in a square. Oh no, I'm going through the ground. Oh, that looks cool. Ooh, playing the game wrong? I think I'm playing the game right. So I am just going to pop this onto the ground here. I'm just going to fly over to the airport and try a little bit of a landing. It's kind of unfortunate that I don't have enough room to fly around properly. But, like I said, maybe one day. Alright, there we go. Let's just quickly take a little jaunt over to the airport here. And I will try my best to do, like a half-decent landing here with the very minimal amount of space that I have. Alright, this is actually going pretty good here. I'm going to start lowering it down. This thing is actually surprisingly smooth. Ah, there we go. Not too shabby. Except for the wonky landing gear. Obviously, a few kinks to work out. But overall, guys, this plane is absolutely fantastic. I'm really happy with it. Thanks to everybody for hanging out with me during the live stream. I had a ton of fun. I think we ended up creating something pretty darn cool. The engines actually look really cool on this. I think this plane is pretty true to some of the pictures, so I hope you guys did enjoy the build. I will be putting it up on the Steam Workshop probably this weekend with a whole bunch of other creations as well. And there is more Scrap Mechanic to come, of course, so make sure you hit that like button. It definitely helps the channel out. And if you haven't already subscribed for Endless Scrap Mechanic, then I suggest you do. And I will be seeing you guys in the next one. So bye for now.